Unsolicited advice.
What you whispering for? Yo, what's unsolicited advice? Take it or leave it. This one is for all you church folk out there. And by church folk, you know, those people that constantly go to church, or they constantly, or they become like, you know, born again Christians or born again religious. And, you know, everybody knows one. It's either a family member or somebody that just has accepted God into their lives, or, you know, maybe they're a recovering drug addict or alcohol, you know, whatnot. But we all know that one person, or we all know several people like this, where they're very self-righteous and you could do no right in their eyes. It's always something negative. You know, you can never be a bigger soldier for God than they are. You know, but we're going to talk about this today because it irks me more than anything, because it's not even about being religious no more. It's about being better than, it's like I'm better than you. You know, you're not saved enough. You know, you're not spiritual enough. You're not holy enough. You're not religious enough. You know, and we're going to get into it, you know. And like I said, there might be some people that don't like this, but I'm only talking about the people that won't allow you to walk in the steps that God ordered for you. So, you know, and whatever deity that you pray to. So it's not necessarily just Christians. It could be Catholics. It could be Muslims, whoever. Whatever deity that you pray to, you always got a circle, a group of people that think that they're better. And we really need to start calling them out, because they're the ones that are keeping people from going to church, from praising and enjoying their religion and what comes from it, you know. But, you know, a lot of people get mostly frustrated because these type of people gossip about someone in the form of a prayer request. You always got some that do that. You know, they come up, they'll come down to the pew, or excuse me, they'll come down the aisle and they want to do their prayer request, and it's almost like a slick diss. You know, they sneak diss, and you know who they're talking about, but they think it's their job to call you out through a prayer request. You know, instead of just coming up into you and saying, hey, I know you're going through some things and I want to let you know that I'm praying for you. You know, just you and that person having an intimate conversation, and them just reaching out their heart to you and saying, hey, I'm going to be praying for you. It's not good enough for them. They want to go and put it out there that, oh, you know, I'm a good person. I'm a good Christian. I'm a good soldier for God. So I'm going to do this prayer request because this person needs Jesus. They need help. You know, they are wayward soul. So I'm going to put them on blast over here. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I ain't going to say no names, but you know what I'm talking about. You always got those type of people, and I can't stand it. I think it's disgusting to me. You know, and you got the ones that say that they trust God, but they don't give out tithes. They don't give their tithes, you know, or their communion or whatnot. Or, you know, they don't get their tithes. They don't give money. Now, that was a little touchy subject, because I'm kind of on the fence about giving money to the church, because I'm just there for, you know, the spiritual healing or getting a good word. I don't want to feel like I have to give out money that I probably can't afford to give. But I get the reason why. Like I said, I still under the reason, you know, it's to get your blessings back. You know, you're supposed to get it back tenfold or whatever. I think it's 30% of your earnings. I forget how much it is. But you always got those ones, oh, I trust God, I trust this and that. They do all that talking, but you never see them, you know, giving out tithes. They think that their work at the church is, you know, them giving their money. You know, oh, I was at the bake sale. Oh, I go to every Bible study. That's my tithes. I'm here at the church every day. You know, but yeah. And then, you know, you always got the ones that hold a grudge. And half time you don't even know why. You come into church and they either been talking about you or they're finding ways to try to irk your nerves. You know, anything to keep you from coming to church. They hold these grudges and you don't even know why. You know, they may hold a grudge because you wore a dress and, you know, their husband saw it and now they don't like you. They think you a hussy, you know, or a Philistine or whatever. You know, they don't want you there. They don't want you there. They don't want you at their church. So they hold grudges. You have some people that just, they know you from from when y'all grew up, and they've been talking about you so much. So they didn't expect you to pop up and show up at their church. So now they're holding a grudge because they don't want you there because they feel like you're going to expose them. You know, that one goes down the rabbit hole. That one goes very deep. But you have a lot of these church folks that hold grudges for no reason. You know, like you really care and you don't. You there to get the good word. You ain't thinking nothing about them. Another thing that drives me crazy is they'll say that they'll pray for you, but but avoid talking to you. You know, like they'll say they're going to pray for someone, but they'll avoid them. You know, it's like they'll avoid them like the plague. Oh, I'm just going to pray for them. But you don't want to go over there and be a good neighbor and say, hey, is there anything that you need? Or is there, I wouldn't mind coming to the house and helping you out if you want to accept my help. No, you want to be cute. You just want to say, oh, well, I'm just going to pray for them. I ain't finna do all that. But, but you want everybody to think that you're holier than thou and that you're, God's soldier. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry. I just got so many issues with the way churches ran now and the people that's in it. It's just ridiculous. And then you got the ones that only crack their Bible open when they go to church. Couldn't tell you a verse. Couldn't tell you nothing but whatever the pastor talked about that Sunday. So you could tell that they don't crack their Bible open at home. But they're supposed to be so religious and so holier than thou and always checking you, on your spiritual journey. I'll tell you straight up, I couldn't recite a verse to you, but I've always had an open mind. If somebody wanted to show me something or to show me some lessons in the Bible or things that can help me, I'm all for it. But don't sit there and act like you at home reading it. No. You get your little highlighter and you at church probably highlighting some stuff, but you ain't cracking it open when you get home. You're not. You just got that Bible for aesthetics. I will say that. You got it for aesthetics. But, and this one, I've seen a lot of people doing this lately, but everybody has this family member, they got this person in their life or at church. They always use God or Jesus when they don't get their way. And I was just talking about this with somebody the other day, like even during the election when Trump was elected and you had the people that didn't agree with Trump being elected, you had a lot of people going on the internet and saying, well, God is my president, or if somebody can't get a man or can't get a woman, it's like, oh, well, God is my boyfriend or God is my girlfriend. I don't need a relationship. God didn't ask you to put him in all this mess that you got going on in your life. So when you don't get your way, don't use God, don't use Jesus to make everybody else uncomfortable because you're not getting your way. Or you're trying to win an argument. Everybody loves to pull that out. They pull Jesus or God out and they feel like that's and shut everybody up. Stop doing that. That's a weak mentality. Another thing I can't stand is a person that judges someone just because they have a newfound religion. Now all of a sudden you want to judge everybody. Now all of a sudden you want I like to say that you want holy accommodations now because you're saved, or you're born again. You went and got baptized, so now all of a sudden you think it's your job to judge everybody else. They want these accommodations that is just ridiculous all of a sudden. Like you're looking at them like, hold on, just last week you was a prostitute, or just last week, you was on drugs. You was working on people's cars for crack, And now all of a sudden you want to come around me and judge me and try to make it seem like you that I'm backsliding and you're all of a sudden holier than thou. It's like, no, those people irk me because it's like, of all people, you need to be quiet and just stay on your journey. Just stay on your journey. If anything, you should be humble and show humility. But, and then you got the ones that they put the amusement of others before praying for them. So you have church folks, they love to talk about you first before they'll talk about you before they pray for you. They love to do that. They like the amusement of it. Oh, you can't get your life together. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at that. It's like they love talking about you. They'll talk about you. They'll dog you just before they pray for you. So you don't even know if it's genuine. And if they're sending prayers up, God, he dang sure know that they're not genuine. So you're not receiving a blessing from them because they're not even genuine in what they're saying to you. But that's just one of those things. It just drives me crazy. I just can't I can't understand it. Another one is they care more about what people think about you, than what God knows about you. And I'll say that again. They care more about what people think about you than what God knows about you. Like they spend so much time breaking you down, and they forget the whole point of why they're in church or why we're supposed to congregate. It's supposed to be a safe haven. Nobody's supposed to judge. You're supposed to be able to come in there and everybody is like, what, it doesn't matter. All is welcome. We're glad to have you here. If you need to talk about anything, we're here to listen. What is it? We listen, but we don't judge. But no, it's the opposite. We judge while we're listening. So it's like they rather, care more about what people think about you than what God knows about you. Another one is they never want to admit to wrongdoing towards others. Like they don't want to, they never want to initiate reconciliation, and they don't want to ever admit wrongdoing towards somebody. It's like, oh, no, I didn't do nothing wrong. They need to get right with God. They love, like I said, they love the Bible thump when they know that they've done something wrong. They try to use God and Jesus as a shield, and like I said, they get into that holier than thou state. And I know I'm going on a rant, but it's just some things that need to be said. Because it used to be a time where church was a safe haven. And for some people, it still is. But you got a lot of people that have gotten so turned off lately of going to church because there's so much just buffoonery going on. And it's just not safe. It's not a safe space anymore. Hell, church will judge you quicker than social media will. And that's saying a lot. But shout out to those smaller churches, those humble churches. You got a lot of good churches out there, those small ones, more intimate. You get the good word. They're just happy for you to be there. They don't judge. You feel more, at place in those smaller churches. Even those online churches. Shout out to those too. They're great. But I just wanted to give you all that little nugget. We got to start calling these people out and letting them know that we're all God's children. Whatever deity that you pray to, we're all, we all come from a certain place. And we have to understand we're not better than the next person. We're supposed to be there for each other and uplift each other. And, it's supposed to be a brotherhood and a sisterhood. It's supposed to be a family. But that's just my unsolicited advice. You can take it or leave it.